Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to.
Unpopular K-pop opinions because I've had it with JYP.
I wonder why.
And
We haven't heard anything.
why it's because NMIXX, so she's gonna talk about
Oh,
NMIXX, which my prediction she's gonna drag them because the song was repetitive as fuck. Having said that, felt it was honestly one of their best songs. I really liked it. Nice R&B vibe. Didn't give me JYP at all. I liked it, but I know she's gonna drag it. It's not her style of music, but that's my guess. Let's see.
1. Know About Me is NMIXX playing nice with K-pop's current beigification epidemic. The title track ditches their signature mix pop chaos for a subdued sing-talk trap light formula. I think I'm just biased toward tracks like Oh Oh and Dice, which have chaotic change-ups and actual singing. How do you have 6 solid vocalists and still resort to sing-talking and shouting for 70% of the track? The
sing
verses coast
talking.
on staccato
Thank
vocal deliveries
you.
and half-baked harmonies that feel like vocal warm-ups, not hooks. The chorus? A serviceable earworm buried under overcooked trap beats. Imagine
I
Dice's
didn't
DNA.
like this drop
I did.
either.
I did. I felt it was really good. The beats were fire. Their vocals shine through.
You think so?
Yeah, the vocals, you could tell they were good vocalists through the song. This because the song wasn't like vocally heavy. It was R&B track, but they still like shined vocally. I felt it was a great drop. Damn, what's going on here?
Stripped of its ADHD charm and force-fed Xanax, that bridge
was
is the
gonna
real
yell,
crime, a shouty melody-free
"Poison
crescendo
cake."
that mistakes volume for drama. JYP's producers had the blueprint for tension, those ascending synths and layered ad-libs, but they chickened out, opting for lazy bombast over actual payoff. But I blame easy listening. Swap the tired trap cliches for the crisp EDM sparkle teased in the pre-chorus, and this could have been a serve. It's not bad by any means, but it's a betrayal of NMIXX's weirdo potential, which is clearly a strategy. At
I
career
feel like
crunch
it
time,
is quite different from their
It
other
is,
music.
and that's why I like it.
Mm.
Not saying that the music is bad, but they have some good tracks that I liked. I do remember certain tracks for them that they were like on hip hop vibes. I like those. But other songs is just not for me. This one, I really like this one. Definitely my vibe.
JYP's clearly chasing general public validation with this chill mix pivot. And guess what? It might
I don't know if this is general public validation. I don't feel
I feel like it is.
R&B is
I
not
think
for everyone though.
so. But it wasn't like heavy R&B. I wish it stuck to R&B, but I feel like it had a little bit of a mix, a switch up even in the mid
It
ending.
did. The YG switch up in the end. Yeah, it was there. I don't know. I don't know if it's a general validation though. It feels kind of nichey to me.
work.
It
Know
reminded
About
me of a Baby Monster like that.
You did say that, yes.
Me's streamlined structure and seamless change-ups could finally crack
me,
the
it was
Korean
more
charts,
XG.
especially with that amazing futuristic MV, their best one so far. They're finally pushing Solyon as a center. JYP's been sleeping
Nah, and the music video was, I don't know, like production was good, but what it had to do with the song, I felt like it was completely off topic.
on her center potential since debut. But here she's weaponized. Opening line, chorus anchor, closing shot. 50% screen time isn't a coincidence. Her Ice Princess visuals and poised delivery give them the focal point they need. NMIXX's lack of a cemented face has been a glaring blind spot since debut. In a genre where visual hierarchy is currency, JYP's refusal to weaponize Solyon has been borderline sabotage. This comeback course corrects with the subtlety of a sledgehammer.
That's true. I feel like in NMIXX, I don't feel like there's a girl that's like she's the visual, like the lead, like they highlight her.
Yeah.
Solyon isn't just featured, she's framed as the axis the entire MV orbits. This isn't pushing her, it's branding. Groups need stan attractors to thrive in Korea's general public-driven market. And Solyon, being one of the most skilled visuals of 4th gen, is a cheat code for virality. Now let's talk about the B-sides. This is where the album snaps. Golden Recipe is a glorious unhinged mess. Imagine a blender full of video game sound fonts, Broadway show tunes and hyperpop glitter, pure mix pop delirium. The vocal layering and harmonies are insane. It's the chaotic counterpoint to the title's safety, proving NMIXX still has guts to go full experimentation. High Horse is the vocal flex we've been robbed of, moody, theatrical and drenched in drama. The climax is why Lily and Haewon are the strongest vocal duo ever. Papillon is a harmony nerd's wet dream, operatic layering, call and response belts and a bridge that ascends to vocal heaven, and it'll shine even more with live stages. The whole EP is NMIXX's identity crisis bottled. The title track is a cynical but smart general public pander, while the B-sides double down on the niche vocal-forward experimentation that made them stand out. It's frustrating yet fascinating. Like watching a group split into 2 parallel universes. If JYP merges these sides, NMIXX could dominate. But for now, Know About Me is a 7 out of 10 title track carried by a 9 out of 10 album. A mixed bag that
Wow,
That's pretty high rating.
that's high
bro.
rating.
That's
So
pretty high
she
rating.
liked it.
Yeah, I thought she would be more negative, about 7 out of 10. That's not for her. She's a very 7 out of 10. Not
proves
bad.
they're too talented to play it safe. 2. K-pop's mispronounced English lyrics aren't accidents. They're calculated sabotage, a sonic duct tape slapped over lazy songwriting by producers who prioritize vibes over coherence. The delusional defense of language barriers is a crutch for an industry that's fully capable of nailing pronunciation, that chooses not to.
Yeah, we've been saying that they should hire. Well, not even that. There's native English speakers in the teams. Like usually a group member, there's one like international.
Yeah, but doesn't mean that that's their job to do that.
So what they can't say it like, oh no,
They
that's not how you
can,
say
but
it.
that's not their job.
I don't know.
That's another job. They're gonna get paid for this extra job.
But that makes them look stupid. Even makes them look the most stupid. How the fuck you an English speaker and you don't know how to pronounce the word?
I mean, they can, but if the management clearly want to say it a certain way, they want to say it a certain way. Because I feel like
I think they just don't know any
I think
better.
you fail to realize that, you know, that there's like a culture where there's a hierarchy of who gets to speak, who gets to, like, it's not a culture where people are just interjecting and saying their thoughts. They came here, they give them their assignment, and they do the assignment.
I guess.
Because stands eat up cringe like it's mukbang, Hybe, SM. JYP and YG aren't mom and pop shops run by grandmas with dial-up internet. These are billion-dollar corporations with armies of English-speaking staff, vocal coaches, lyricists,
Yeah,
producers like Teddy
I'm
Park,
sure they have
raised
it.
in Boston, and idols like Rosie, Australian, Mark Lee, Canadian, and Bang Chan, Sydney bred. They've got access to pronunciation apps, dialect coaches, and AI tools that could auto-tune a goat into Ariana Grande.
My name is Bailey Moody. I play wheelchair basketball, and I'm sharing my game day rituals with Marriott Bonvoy. Follow me.
But they chose to butcher words because it serves the beat, not because they're linguistically illiterate. K-pop was never about language, it's about vibes. English words are aesthetic props, not
I feel like
communication
that
tools.
too. I don't
When-
think that it's more about like getting things like technically right, like in rap, hip hop, R&B. It's just going after that sound, after that formula to make money.
G-Idol Soyeon say red 5 diamonds in my bag. No one's meant to dissect the grammar. It's about the mouthfeel, syllables that pop against synths, consonants that punch like choreo. Most mispronounced lyrics are stylized to mirror Korean phonetics, blending seamlessly with a trap beat. Forcing correct pronunciation might risk making them clunky. But let's not pretend this is artistic genius. Half the time it's laziness. G-Idol's Mian singing Clean Car instead of Queen Card wasn't about artistic flow, but because Soyeon couldn't care less about hiring a $20 an hour pronunciation coach. The result? A viral meme, exactly what they wanted. Stans infantilize idols.
She's saying
Damn.
clean car. Never noticed clean car. Clean car. I mean, it sounds similar. You wouldn't even notice really.
I mean, it's close enough.
Yeah, it's close enough where you can get it past. Queen
Yeah.
card,
But if you
clean
wanna
card.
say if she's articulate, like in her delivery, then you couldn't say that per
The,
se.
the only issue I have with G-Idol is klaxon. That's the only one.
Hit the klaxon.
Yeah, that's the dumbest word in my life I've heard. But
But
aside from
people
that,
actually say that.
who? Never heard in my life somebody say
well, you know what
klaxon.
my mom says? Klaxonnaire.
Cause that's probably French.
But I think shorthand is klaxon.
Horn, honk, beep,
Or point point.
whatever. Beep, whatever. Klaxon.
People
Nobody
usually
uses that
gonna
word,
say
no.
by the sound.
Painting them as clueless puppets who try their best with English. It's condescending, racist, and factually wrong. BTS RM pens Grammy-nominated English raps. Twice Jihyo belts English songs without a stumble. Yet when NMIXX's Lily, raised in Australia, deliberately slurs words, fans squeal about her cute accent. No, it's manufactured quirkiness, a corporate strategy to weaponize foreignness as charm. What gets me the most is that K-pop's desperate for Western validation, yet treats English like a drunk uncle at a wedding, useful for clout,
But
embarrassing in practice.
Also, they can't help it either. Like, for example, Felix, when he says noise, it's like there's a O, there's a I, there's a C.
But he said that as a joke. He doesn't say that in the song.
Yeah.
Like they don't have a song who says it's very nice. It's just
I don't know. Do they?
well, not that I'm aware of how we are aware of the thing. Is kind of just like a joke, a gig, you know.
Compare how Japanese lyrics in K-pop are meticulously pronounced to appease Japan's market, while English gets the English treatment. Why? Because Americans eat exoticism. Companies are literally playing into the Asians
can see
can't
that.
speak English trope for streams. Companies want mispronunciations. Every mispronounced line becomes a TikTok sound, a
I don't
meme
know if they
template, a
want
quirky moment.
that.
I don't want to say like Americans want that. I think it's more so Americans are more accepting of accents because it's just such a
Yeah.
culture melting pot.
That people start copying your accent.
Yeah, there's a lot of accents in the country. Usually, everybody knows somebody who has a foreign accent, so it's like it's not a big deal. It's the only people that are worried about the accents are the people with the accent
Themselves,
themselves.
yeah.
Yeah, I think nobody really cares about them having an
No.
accent. Like
like I said, every time in an interview, y- they can speak English, but they're not wanting to because they are in fear of their accent. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you, no one cares.
Yeah, like for me, I always, was very conscious of my accent when I first came here. Nobody cared.
No,
I don't care for others' accents either. Uh, yeah, I don't think.
unless you're like a bully,
I mean, if you're a bully, then and you
you're
have an
gonna
accent, then
you're
somebody
gonna
can
find
clap
some. You're
back in
gonna
your
find some.
accent. Yeah,
Yeah.
but generally speaking, nobody like makes fun of people's accents. It's everybody has an accent of some sort, you know.
To Stan. The industry isn't stupid. They're exploiting linguistic racism for profit. 3. Le Seraphim dropped the English version of Hot.
Oh,
And it
did
has the most
they?
natural flow by far compared to the Korean version. Some of the English lyrics make absolutely no sense, but you can
Oh.
clearly tell the song was originally written in English. This highlights a common reality in K-pop. A lot of songs start as demos made by Western producers for broad commercial appeal, then get reworked with Korean lyrics. This process, while efficient, prioritizes melody and rhythm over linguistic accuracy, which is why English versions often don't feel translated so much as restored, bringing back the original demo's natural syllable flow and sound. When companies like JYP were hired by tracks from global hitmakers, they're not just getting instrumentals, they're also getting pre-made hooks and phrasing built around Western pop's vowel-heavy style. Korean lyricists then have to reshape the language to fit that structure, sometimes twisting phrases to match a rhythm that wasn't made for Korean in the first place. You can see this in some groups behind-the-scenes content, where members or producers listen to demos before any Korean lyrics are added. Songs are picked based on their overall structure, not their cultural fit, which is why some tracks end up sitting in a weird space between
When you
languages.
see
This
what goes on behind the curtains, it's like, wow, it takes away the brilliance of the actual people who are performing it. You seeing that's not really them, it's the team.
system creates catchy, globally appealing music, but it also waters down lyrical depth. Words often turn into placeholders for sounds rather than actual meaning. It's the trade-off that comes with making K-pop for a worldwide audience. 4. Let's break down the latest in the Kim Soo Hyun mess. After his agency tried to discredit the victim's aunt, the
There's
one who
something
exposed them in
new or what?
interviews, the victim's mother fired back, not just confirming the aunt's role but also calling out the company for gaslighting the public. In a new interview with the same YouTuber who first blew the lid off this scandal, the mother made their mission crystal clear: clear her daughter's name. Sue the YouTuber whose harassment campaign drove her daughter to the edge and dragged the media for enabling this whole
So
cover-up by
now it's
staying
the
silent.
mom. It switches between mom and aunt, mom and
I,
aunt, mom
I
and
think
aunt.
it's the same thing we heard yesterday, but
Then comes the agency's next desperate move, begging for a private meeting to explain things. The family saw right through that and shut it down, smelling a cover-up attempt a mile away. Instead, they laid down 7 demands. A public apology from Kim Soo Hyun admitting he dated a minor, his company gold medalist owning up to their lies, recognition of the late actress's unpaid work that literally built the agency, a retraction of the
Wow.
disgusting $700,000 loan threat, and legal consequences for the YouTuber who hounded their daughter. But it gets worse. Turns out, after the leaked photos, Kim's company sent another legal notice, this time threatening to sue their late daughter for embezzlement and pinning the blame on her if his hit drama Queen of Tears took a hit. And while this was happening, call logs prove the agency was harassing her dad, blowing up his phone post scandal, clearly trying to shut them up. Meanwhile, mainstream media is spinelessly looking the other way, forcing the family to rely on a controversial YouTuber just to get their side out. At this point, Kim Soo Hyun's silence isn't a strategy, it's a confession. Every no
Wow.
comment screams guilt, every dodged apology is proof of exploitation, and every leaked DM or sad little dishwashing selfie just makes him look more like a predator scrambling to hide. The family isn't
some of the men seem reasonable. Others are like, not really.
What do you think is not reasonable?
Well, to something to do with a YouTuber. Like, what the fuck does the company have to do with that YouTuber? It's kind of
But
when
it's-
New Jeans asked Ador to like fire Eyelid's manager or something. Like, what? That's
But
separate company.
it's
What
a
does
little
that have to
bit
do with us?
ironic because this YouTuber is also, in a essence, helping them get the story out because it seems like the media coverage is turning a blind eye.
Yeah, but it's an independent person. You know what has to do with the company? That's just an unreasonable demand. Then about forgiving her debt or something, like, who gives a fuck? She's dead. The debt is not existent. That's it. Unless she had some sort of assets that would potentially go to them, but now since they're
I
collecting
would
on
think
them,
so.
but she was broke. She didn't have nothing. So what is there to
I
collect?
don't know what she had.
Then she wasn't that broke if she had something. The whole idea was that she was like getting a 9 to 5, worked at a coffee, whatever, because she was dead broke.
Because she has to make the payments, I guess.
Well, right, but she didn't have anything. So if she doesn't have anything, what is the debt? The debt that is useless at this point is over. You write that shit off because there's nothing there to collect. So I don't really get that demand. I mean, I wouldn't. The company Kim Soo Hyun, his company, gold medalist, I guess, could do that because the debt is either way. It's a wash at this point, so might as well write it off. Who cares? So whatever. But I don't really understand why they want it. The other demands, apologize, admit, reasonable, but is he gonna do that? I don't know. Apology is easy. They should definitely apologize. Now, him admitting he dated her as a minor, ooh, that's a problem for him. That's the end of his career right there. So he has to weigh his pros and cons, whether he's wants to take it up to courts or whatever, or he just, I don't know.
Letting this go, netizens are furious and his carefully crafted legacy is crumbling, and rightfully so. 5. Ten's pre-release Bambola was a hot mess. I kept
I guess that's where
Bambola.
he stopped because you didn't react to it.
Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, share as much kindness as possible.